be finishing up on the news here on this Monday, January 7, 2013. This is a article by Drew Zahn of WND. It's an exclusive report. Michael Savage, time for a nationalist party, says a King David needed to unite voters against Dems, GOP. Drew Zahn is a former pastor who cut his editing teeth as a member of the award-winning staff of Leadership, Christianity's Today's professional journal for church leaders. He is the editor of 7 books, including movie-based illustrations for preaching and teaching, which sparked his ongoing love affair with the film and his weekly WND column, Popcorn and a Worldview. Drew Zahn, a true, I like his articles because, like I said, I like WND because they are a Christian perspective of the world and what's going on. I recommend it. Number 2 most trustworthy resource of information, my friend. Michael Savage, one of the nation's most prominent voices in talk radio, said today America is absolutely ripe for a third party, in part because the 2 largest parties in the U.S. have pulled a charade on the American people. There is no Republican Party, Savage told fellow talk show host Aaron Klein. It's an appendage of the Democrat machine, as we've all just seen. It's 2-card Monty. As we well know, it's a game being played against the American people. You've got the drunk boner on the one side and the quasi-pseudo-crypto Marxist on the other, who is really just enjoying the ride in Hawaii right now, representing his factions. Oh yeah, what's the deal with Barack Obama going on a vacation every 2 weeks? You know what I mean? With our money. So the President of the United States gets to take our rights and our money and go on vacation? Man, it must be good being the president these days, right? Shit. Instead, we need a nationalist party in the United States of America, said Savage on WABC's Aaron Klein's Investigative Radio, suggesting a party focused on borders, language, and culture. He continued, "You have the rudiments of a new party in this country called a Tea Party. They need to restructure their party. They need a charismatic leader, which they don't have. When you say Tea Party, no one knows who the leader is because there is no leader. No man has stepped forward who can lead that party. No one who is an articulate speaker, a charismatic mover of people. The Tea Party is a rudiment of the new nationalist party." Savage explained, "Somebody has to bring them all together, unite them like King David did the ancient tribes of Israel, and there is no King David out there. Who's the King David? Tell me, who is going to do it?" What about Savage himself? "I could do it if I was 20 years younger. I would do it right now," Savage told Klein, "but I'm not 20 years younger. I don't have 20 years left in me. This is going to require enormous resources and enormous energy. I can guarantee you, Aaron, if I ever did this, I could raise probably 100 million within 3 months easily. There are people so frustrated by the democracy that is gone in this country, the structure that has replaced our democracy is what I meant to say, that they would clamor for the new nationalist party," Savage said. Savage also pointed out the term nationalism needs to be redefined, as it's too often associated with Hitler and the Nationalist Socialist Party, the Nazis of 1930s Germany. This association, however, Savage claims is simply the design of the internationalists in the ranks of the left and the leftist media who deserve to dissolve the sovereignty of nations. Borders, language, culture has been my motto in radio from the beginning, Savage explained. Nationalism is the only thing that can save America, and a new nationalist party that has a very strict firewall that does not permit the radical fringe of racism. He continued, "Going forward, we have to think on radio, continue to educate the audiences about nationalism and the importance of our nation and our nation's sovereignty. Borders, language, culture, borders, language, culture. It defines every nation on the planet. The flag, the language, the border, and what is it the internationalists do? They want to dissolve the borders. They want to introduce multiculturalism. They want to introduce a Tower of Babel of languages." Savage had much more to say in the interview, which can be heard in its entirety below. If you want to watch the video, it's on WND.com under Michael Savage, Time for a Nationalist Party. You see, the more you start to see this society going the way that it's going, the more that you can apply biblical scripture to it. Even Michael Savage is doing it. Yeah, I mean, I've read so many stories in the Bible that I see it all. I see the whole, everything that's happening in America happened in Israel, ancient Israel. We are going the way of ancient Israel. We forgot about God. Now we're going to lose everything that God has given us. Duh. Can you do math? I mean, come on, guys. I mean, it's not hard to realize. I mean, who has been the biggest and most famous figure in history? Jesus Christ, obviously. Why is it that in 2013 we think that we, with our liberal opinions, can now question everything that has happened in history just because we're these like decadent liberals that think that we, just because we have an opinion, we can rewrite history? I mean, God told the Israelites that not to breed with different kinds of people that weren't of their race. Why? Because God knows that when you bring another race into your culture, you start to pick up their attributes and their little things that they do. It starts to make you different. So he wants to keep you away from different people sometimes so that you can just practice the things that he gave you. So when you bring in a different race with their different religions and different gods and different like whatever, then you start accepting it, tolerating it. It starts to become you. It starts to become part of your society. It starts to turn it inside out. That's why he told ancient Israel, don't be mating with the Canaanites. Don't be mating with the Amalekites or the Amorites and all that. Don't just stick with your people. If you want to get a wife, you have to go to your tribe. You have to go find a woman from your tribe, you know? There was a very interesting guest on the Joe Rogan Experience the other day. I can't remember his name. He's a doctor. He wrote a book, though. The book is called... man, what the heck is that book called? It doesn't even sound like it has anything to do with what it's about, but it's called Sex at Dawn. There's this book called Sex at Dawn, and it's about how societies, but way back before civilizations and like people telling you what to do, that people within tribes all used to like, not like, well, to put it in a modern term, there were swingers. Everyone in the tribe would kind of like, would be a swinger. Like the women would have multiple partners and the men would have multiple partners within their tribe though. And this was normal. And the word promiscuous isn't really what it means today. Like people, when you say promiscuous, it's like you usually think about a person acting like flirty and trying to get laid or whatever. But what promiscuous means is like, it means mixed. So like it means that you're mixed into mixed relationships. Whether this is like, whether it's true or not that happened back in the day, doesn't mean that it's morally or naturally correct, because what is natural in our flesh isn't what's right spiritually. We're naturally sinners, so we have to try to be good. We have to try to do what's right, because that's how you honor God, obviously. But what was I getting? Whether that's true or not, whether they did that or not, yeah. But you see how like even in the flesh, in our natural circumstances, we tend to just stick together with our own tribes, with our own type of people. But when you force a whole bunch of different, like the immigrants coming over here, you know, they're like opening the borders for all Mexican immigrants now. Just come on in, guys. They're just handing out social security cards, handing out citizenships, treating them better than people that were born in this country. One has to wonder why. And it's because the American is a very self-empowered, very, very independent, very hard-working person. They don't want that. The only people that they want to have hard-working are foreigners, because they don't want the American people to have money. They don't want the American people to get ahead. They're a big threat to these elitists. They have, you know, like we pose a great threat to the elite because we are self-empowered, and they know how powerful it is to know how much power you have if only you had Jesus Christ. If only you had Jesus Christ out there, you would know how powerful you are, man. How absolutely powerful you are through the Word. through our words, man. And I'm not perfect, but I'm just saying, you know, like, if only you can see what reality really was, and it's not this matrix that you've been lied to that is what reality is. That's not reality, man. Reality is really, it's just the knowledge. It's just there's so much wisdom and knowledge and stuff into that, man, that you need to find out for yourself. Like I said, like I always say, don't believe me. Go look at it for yourself. Go do some soul searching for yourself. Go. That is the problem with this country. It doesn't have to do with a certain group of people. It has to do with each and every one of us individually within ourselves, because we have to fix ourselves. We have to be the change that we want to see. You know, we have to get rid of this mentality that the other guy, the guy on my left, the guy on my right is doing the job for me already. You have to do your part. No matter how much other people are out there fighting, you have to fight too. That's what makes us strong. United we stand, divided we fall. Okay? I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's just that easy. It's that easy.